Hello, I am Jashikins, and this is a mini review that is not intended for kids. And just adjusting my chair, this one final adjustment, and okay. Mini reviews are spoiler free, so if you are interested in anything I'm reviewing, don't worry about being spoiled. Today's mini review is of the Dresden Files. Hang on, this title is a tongue twister. It's really easy to write, but okay. I'm just preparing myself. Okay, let's do this. I can do this. I practice this. I will probably mess it up. Today's mini review is of the Dresden Files Full Moon by Jim Butcher. That's fool like a jester and not full. Yeah, this is... There has been a grisly series of murders, but finding the killer is the least of Harry Dresden's worries. His frayed friendship with Karrin Murphy causes her to believe he is involved with the murders. So, while trying to bring the killers to justice, Harry must also avoid the law. I like Murphy, and one of my many ships is Murphy and Harry. But in this book, she is written so poorly, I found myself extremely irritated whenever she showed up. Again, I actually really love Murphy, just not in this book. I think the reason I was so irritated with... Calm down, Josh, calm down. I think the reason I was so irritated was that her part in this book could have been so good. Due to Harry not telling her everything in Stormfront, she began to lose her trust in him. Add to that was the fact her bosses were looking for any excuse to fire her, and you have an extremely interesting subplot that has so many possibilities. The subplot should have gone that both Harry and Murphy were working uneasily with each other as they battled their personal feelings, those who wished to fire Murphy, and the killers. But butchers that interesting premise. When Murphy realizes Harry knows the latest victim, she does not allow Harry to explain that he had merely refused to teach the victim what he perceived as dangerous magic. Instead, she perceives the fact he didn't tell her he knew the victim prior to the murder as enough evidence to connect him with the killings. She then proceeds to beat the shit out of him, and every time they meet, she tries to arrest him like it's her new fucking fetish. At one point, there is clear evidence to Murphy that Harry is not involved with the killings, and yet she still believes he might be involved. Then, when there's a moment she shoots at him, it's supposed to be a humorous revelation that she was shooting at someone behind him. I feel so foolish for thinking someone that believes they're being set up wouldn't shoot who they perceive to be a bad guy. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for this, but I was actually rooting for Murphy to die multiple times in this book. It seems very obvious to me that Murphy was merely used as an obstacle to Harry and not in a well-written way. There was a way to do it. The way that Butcher did it was not. One thing this book gets right is werewolves. Near the beginning of the book, There are different kinds of werewolves mentioned, and throughout the course of the book, each one is encountered, each kind with their own weaknesses and abilities. This book is almost like a werewolf buffet. Another good thing in this book is Harry talking with his subconscious. I can forgive this conversation being nothing more than a clumsy way to slow down the pacing of the book, since the banter is awesome. And there's a line that gives me hope for Murphy and Harry in the future. I've read all the books in the series, and yeah, except for the latest release, Peace Talks. I haven't read that yet, but I know at least up till that point, this couple hasn't gotten together, so mine's still hoping, and that line gives me hope. I would recommend the Dresden Files Full Moon. Full Moon. I feel like I'm putting on this really weird accent just so I can say the title. Okay, let me do this again. I would recommend the Dresden Files Full Moon to fans of the Dresden Files and werewolves. This is not the book to get into the wonderful world of the Dresden Files series. So, if this is going to be your first foray into the series, I would suggest choosing a different book. And that's the review. If my review interested you, everywhere I post this video, I put a link to buy the book. And if you want to help me out, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I plan to do many reviews of all the Dresden Files books, and sometime in the future, definitely after I finish my huge Dune series review, I'm thinking of possibly, doing a review, full-length review of every book in the series, because I do love this series. I just really didn't like this book this time around. And there's the camera. Below that is where the script is, and here's where the feed is. And because this screen over here is where the screen is, I have to turn oddly like that so I can end this review. And goodbye.